Alright, so today I'm going to be playing some Face Priest, which seems to be having some pretty decent results on the ladder right now. So the core of the deck is that it's a shadow spell deck with Dark Bishop Benedictus, making our hero power 2 mana deal 2 damage. But the real star of the deck is going to be Void Touched Attendant, which is a 1 mana 1/3 that says both heroes take 1 extra damage from all sources. So it turns out when you have a lot of minions on board and you just hit your opponent in the face, this just makes all your minions deal 1 extra damage, which adds up pretty quick when you're just trying to kill someone. So we play a total of 10 1-drops to make sure we can go ahead and get on the board early. And then we're trying to close out games with a couple Knife Benders and a couple of Void Shards. So yeah, this deck is extremely aggressive. We're trying to go face at pretty much all points in the game, and hopefully the opponent's dead by like turn 6.
My beloved Druid.
My dear Malfurion.
Couple of good 1-drops. This is quite a hand. If my opponent doesn't have, like, something really relevant in the first 2 turns, I think they're just gonna get rolled. One mana 3/4.
Time waits for no one.
Well, I mean, that was an okay response, for sure. But I'm still smacking. I'm just playing my whole hand here. So Elven Archer does 2 damage face. If I shoot this, it does 4. So let's do 4. Because 4 is more than 2. They hero power, they gain 6 armor. I think I'm 1 off here. Might be wrong though. Okay. I had an insane opener.
None can escape my fury. Alone give me strength.
Really just want to find 1-drops with this deck. Elven Archer doesn't really count as a 1-drop. I probably will play it on turn 1 though, if I don't have another option. There we go, that's a 1-drop. And it's a 1-drop that leads really nicely into the Dragonmaw Overseer. Quest Rogue, not surprising. Go get him, River Crocolisk. Sure. That's a 4/7. That's pretty hard to deal with. Although maybe they can go like SI7 Operative, coin, sap, and then run over my 2/2. That's the nightmare. Alright, I can value trade into that, but I don't think this deck value trades. So, let's go face. I think that was the best buff, unless it gets sapped. In which case, it was the worst buff by quite a lot.
So what's the rub?
4 mana 5/5, very powerful. Going face. Is my opponent dead? My opponent is dead. Good old turn 5 lethal.
You asked for it. The moon give me strength.
One drops are good. Deceptor is a good follow-up to Tour Guide. Especially against Mage, where I'm not anticipating having a minion to shoot. Well, probably playing Mana Feeder Panthara on turn 2. Should be easy enough to use a minion to activate the Twilight Deceptor. Well, that's for sure Ice Barrier. But I do have to attack face to win the game, so I suppose I will do that. Do I play Deceptor plus Freshman or just play the 4/3? 4/3 is more damage, but it's also more vulnerable to something like Brain Freeze. They don't really want to Brain Freeze on their Fire Arcane turn, though, and they do already have a good Brain Freeze target. Let's just play the one that deals more damage. Well, love to see the Overseer. Oh, thank God they didn't freeze my 4/7. The double snap freeze. And man, no fire spells in sight for the opponent. So sad. Oh, Ray's dead. You hit a Freshman, a Tour Guide, a Panther. Freshman, Tour Guide, Panther. Fine, I guess. Oh yeah, and this. Of course. And the Shadowed Spirit. So it actually just hit a lot of different stuff and wasn't very targeted. This was a good hit, though. Alright, good missiles to make up for the really poor flurry last turn. Well, I think I am just going face. Definitely losing the board. But I can deal 7 damage here. That doesn't really seem good enough to win the game.
What?
I guess I'm just gonna thrive for Raised Dead and try to make a board again. Probably have to kill that.
One shot. Your tour ends here. We hunger for vengeance.
They found a fire spell. Let's go. All right, going face. You wouldn't play Fire Sale in your deck, would you? Logan 08. Took 8 turns to do the first part of the quest and then 1 turn to do the second part. I'm dealing 7 damage here. Oh, okay. So the opponent's at 8. That means if I can draw my other Knife Vendor or a Void Shard, I have lethal. I don't think... Actually, I guess Void Touch Attendant is also lethal, right?
I got the best deals anywhere.
Oh, it's a gadget build. Interesting. That secret is created by, so it's not necessarily Ice Barrier. All I know is it's not an arcane secret, which I don't know if there even are any of those.
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Oh wow, my opponent's out of cards. Jeez. Unfortunate. If I'd played the Knife Vendor last turn, I'd have lethal here. Am I supposed to kill Auctioneer? I mean, I will have the lethal with Knife Vendor either way, so I guess I probably am. Actually, I mean, I assume the Auctioneer was like powerful for the opponent there, but maybe it wasn't. I've seen 2 Runed Orbs, so I'm probably never dead here. Oh yeah, Hot Streak is a card I can get like double fireballed maybe. Mana Biscuit gives 1 extra mana. I'm down for this game to end in a draw. I'm also down to top deck Void Shard. I'll take it.
Randa versus Gul'dan. Mine is the only way.
Alone give me strength.
This deck plays 8 1-drops. Probably mulligan for the 1-drops. And even if I whiff, I got another 2-drop anyway. It's pretty hard to totally whiff with my mulligan, but I did get kind of close hitting the Raised Dead and the Vendor. And there's my 1-drop, very nice. Haven't seen a Warlock without that card in a week. I guess I just hero power that. Because if I play Cult Neophyte, the best case scenario is that it just trades with my Cult Neophyte, so I may as well just hero power it.
Sorry, we don't have any ink.
2/5.
Muzzle their magic.
Well, I guess I'm just going face. Alright, let's go. We're both just dealing damage to each other. I have so much damage in my hand that this is really my only line of play.
They're not trapped. They're my pets.
You here for the tour? You here for the tour?
So for this, I have an Elven Archer and a Cult Neophyte. I'm just going face, dude. I have Hero Power Void Shard next turn. Pretty decent chance at that being lethal, especially if my opponent's still tapping. I don't know. I might not have lethal here. They're healing for a bit. Up to 9, I only have 6 guaranteed. But these gigantic 4-mana 3/4s are hard to deal with.
Almost out of time.
A little agony goes a long
Okay.
way.
Did I interact with my opponent's board once that game? I did Hero Power of Flame Imp, didn't I? Okay. Alright, so I went 9, 6, and 1 with this deck. So, yeah, definitely one more than I lost. But my impression of the deck is that it doesn't really feel very strong. It feels like the sort of deck that has almost no player agency. That is, there's like almost never any decisions to be made. You just kind of go face as aggressively as possible every single turn. And it's just up to whether or not the opponent can deal with what you're doing. And generally decks that do that tend to not last very long. So I'm kind of expecting that like a week from now this deck probably won't be seeing much play. maybe it's just good enough at going face that having no decisions doesn't matter, but I don't think it's that good at going face. I think, like, the second you queue into a control deck, you just, like, instantly lose the game. And any deck that tries to beat you on board, something like Elemental Shaman, I think you're going to have a really hard time against. Honestly, it really felt to me like I wasn't super favored against anything but Warlock. But I did win more than I lost, and other people are also winning with the deck, so maybe I'm just missing how efficient it is. Void Touched Attendant is obviously a very strong card. It's the best card in the deck by quite a lot. But the thing is, to support the Void Touched Attendant, you have to play a lot of really mediocre cards. Like, pretty much every other card in the deck is pretty mediocre. I guess one quick improvement we can make is Oasis Thrasher being cut for a Kultiran Chaplain. That slot was originally a Rust Rot Viper. That didn't seem necessary. I think this is probably an upgrade over either of those. Wouldn't mind having a second copy of the Kultiran Chaplain, but I don't know what I cut. Probably can't really afford to cut any of the damage because you just, a lot of games you tend to be pretty close on damage. I think I'm like pretty down to cut Raised Dead, to be honest. I think Raised Dead just feels really mediocre. Reviving Imprisoned Homunculus is just so slow. The Frazzled Freshman, if you're Raised Deading any time past like turn 3, is just so mediocre. Seems like I was never too excited by Raised Dead, but maybe you just have to play it. I don't know. Long story short, I don't love the deck.